There's that dude who's playing is it World of Warcraft?
Something like that.
And he just kind of like displayed across here, and he's like click, 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 click. Hi, welcome to UnpauseIt. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit because I feel like it's really loud.
I can't hear it. I don't have my earphone in.
You didn't even have your earphones in.
Yeah, that's fine.
What's up with you?
I don't want to hear it.
Okay, fine. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's very normal. Very normal.
Truth.
Well, welcome to UnpauseIt, our weekly broadcast. And I am sitting here. I am Lady Disdain, and you are?
The dad abides.
You're abiding. All right. And we are here. It is last broadcast of March. And we want to, I just realized again, I'm looking at my camera over there, looking at that one. It's like I've never done this before, even though I have.
It's end of spring break for me and the kids. It's the end of a lot of things.
It's the end.
It's the end of March.
It's the end of the world as we know it. And our children are watching. Furious Gamer right there is our daughter, and she's watching.
Oh, hey.
Cute little avatar. I love it. She looks a little angry and kind of maniacal in that. So welcome to UnpauseIt. You can see we've got a little more decorating on our screen. We've got our nice logo up there. We've got some overlays. Want to thank StreamYard for making this possible. StreamYard's a really cool. I always have to plug them because I actually do live stream. A lot. Have done a lot of that. So StreamYard is a really cool app that lets us do that. And we get to actually show comments and banners and our graphics on this screen on YouTube. So it's pretty cool.
True. So what are we talking about today?
Dumbo.
Yeah, Dumbo came out. And this is, we were kind of hoping to get it before it hit the theaters. But life gets in the way.
Spring break got in the way. That's what happened too. But
spring breaking.
Yeah, spring breaking was going on, but it was good. I mean, we needed a good spring break. But yeah, Dumbo's out in theaters. So we got to see it before it hit the theaters. We went with some friends and saw it. Well, do you want to just dive right into the parent ratings?
Well, yeah, let's talk about the kids first, though, because I want to talk about, we went with some friends, and the kids that were there enjoyed it much more than the adults.
Yes.
Our kids had seen it. The friends had not seen the original.
They actually had, one of them couldn't really remember.
I couldn't remember it. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was, the original was done in what year, do you know?
1976?
41. So what? 1941 was the original Dumbo.
Oh my goodness.
Which is really how they got away with all the racism.
That's right. If you guys remember the crows, they're not in this one, which is not a spoiler.
I think they should have been. Now, I really do think it's 1919 that it's set in.
Yeah.
So that's
true.
True. It was a super racist time in Western world.
Yes.
They could have really put something in there to kind of address that. We know, Disney, that we have been super racist and misogynistic and anti-parent and family and anti-dad especially. Still, they could have just addressed that a little bit, or just put a character in there, because these were all misfits that were really, the strongman was like the only black character in there, and there were some other minorities that were Latino or anything, but it was too G-rated on that one.
Well, so again, we're kind of getting to what we would have liked to see.
Yeah,
the kids
liked it.
Yeah,
more than the adults.
Yeah.
I gave it like a 6.5 to a 7.
Mm-hmm.
The kids were giving it 7s, 7.5.
7 out of 10.
Solid movie for them. What was yours?
I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which I want to dive into in a little bit. You and I both have seen the original animated, and we were really looking forward to this for many reasons, not the least of which was the fact that it was directed by Tim Burton.
Right. And let's talk about our rating system a little bit.
Let's do.
So some people will give the whole gambit between 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 4. There's all kinds of different numbering systems, lettering systems, things like that. 7 out of 10 is a C average, average movie.
Yeah.
So if it's 5, if it's 6, 5 or less, that's an F. So basically, our scale really is between 6 and 10. Anything below there is just varying levels of poo.
Yeah. That's true.
So yeah, so when we have that like that, and we say it's a 7, it's not unentertaining.
Right.
It is visually captivating, but there were some serious problems. Now, if we get into the 6s and the 5s and the 4s and 3s, that means it was either very I don't know, distasteful.
Yeah, and
Which
then
I
we
would kinda like anyway,
can't
but-
really dive into all the reasons why
Yeah.
it had those varying degrees of poo-ness, as you mentioned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we don't see every movie that comes out. So we're usually generous in our ratings on this one. But I did enjoy it, and I did feel entertained. What I didn't feel was any empathy for any human character in the entire movie.
That's right. Now, real quick too, for the parent part of this rating. So again, our kids gave it a 7 out of 10, which is pretty good considering usually they're reviewing Marvel movies. This movie's great for any family member. This is a across the board.
Yeah.
Good for any family, any kid. There were babies in there, toddlers. Of course, they're going to be like, whatever, after 5 minutes. But really, it's a safe. There's not really any scary parts, I don't think. I mean, I didn't see anything that would have been like, more than like, whoo! But that's it. Yeah.
Nothing like that. We can get into some spoilers at the end of the podcast,
Yes.
at the end of the broadcast that we'll do. We'll talk about some spoilers in Dumbo, but we'll go kind of on. Those were our ratings for this one.
And we do also usually give it some kind of rating. I want to assign this one. I'm going to say, so we all gave it so-and-so out of 10 snotty feathers.
Snotty feather. That was a reused trope in there. It's a great effect, really.
Yeah.
The feather from the original, cartoon worked well at this one.
But yeah, animation you said was astonishing.
Yeah. Seeing in a theater, if you got the scratch, you can afford it. But this is a rental or Disney Plus feature. Disney Plus is supposed to launch this fall. Probably a bunch of people are going to get it. It will be included. Every single one of Disney's animated movies and anything released from 2018 and newer will be there day one. Apparently, that was released a couple weeks ago,
and that's really cool. I think that's the big benefit around it. It's, instead of having to they're gonna release Pocahontas for 6 months, go buy it, and then it's gone for another 20 years. I'm just using it as an example.
Anyway. But yeah, so it's a rental movie.
It is a rental.
One thing that we used to really listen to was Spill.com way back in the day. They're still doing some other things. Those people are still out there, but they would do their scale. So crediting them, rental, full price, matinee type thing. This would be rental category.
Very much so.
Unless you really want to see the spectacle of the animation of the elephants, which was top
was really good. And visually it had some beautiful moments. Tim Burton again bringing that across.
Yeah.
So for anyone who is, particularly if you're a parent or someone who's old enough to remember the animated movie, there are some nice homages to that. And that they're not too obvious, but they're just there and you're like, and you're kind of just like, oh, there's that. So you do get some nice throwbacks. You get the dancing elephants from that.
We won't spoil that scene. We'll talk about it in the spoilers part. But let's talk about Tim Burton. He directed this. He also directed Alice in Wonderland, which I enjoyed until the end. Never really saw the sequel. Never saw a point to see the sequel.
Didn't want to after you saw the end of the first one.
I haven't seen his last movie, the Miss Peregrine or something like that.
Yeah.
But we've seen most of his movies.
We have the whole spread of his movies up on our wall that we've watched more than once. And actually the first movie, the movie that brought us together, really, our first movie together was Nightmare Before Christmas.
Which he did not direct, but it's his story and his art.
Yes. So he's got to touch on all that stuff. So we're very invested in Tim Burton. And I remember even before going to see this movie, I was like, you see Danny DeVito's in it as a ringmaster. You're like, that's a little bit of a throwback, a little allusion to Big Fish when he is that kind of character in Big Fish, which is one of our other very favorite movies.
Yeah, and Batman Returns, and Batman 89, two great Batman movies, to be honest. And then he went on to the Joel Schumacher stuff and he was producing on those and it's horrible. But Danny DeVito and Michael Keaton reunite in this one.
Yes.
Because, like you said, he actually really reuses actors. They do really well together, but then you don't care for either one, really.
Yeah, and then you've got Colin Farrell in there, who I think does a really good job as a serious role. But again, I was kind of like, okay,
it was a waste of a Colin Farrell good performance. Yeah. I mean, he really kind of was. He was good in this, and he was a good guy. He was trying to do his best, for his kids.
Yeah, the kids. I felt like I'm just gonna go extreme here. Felt like I was watching the kid who played Anakin in the Phantom Menace.
Oh, Jake.
That's how little I felt about one of the kids have a very sympathetic story, but I was just like
not to disparage kids, But here we go. Their performances were subpar.
They were.
Yeah, their expressions, they weren't really looking at the right part of the elephant, if you will, of Dumbo, of Jumbo, of what's going on.
Monotone, considering what was going on.
Real empathy in there. They weren't. It was that's part of it that brought it.
It's just good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's getting like a 50% of Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not horrible.
It's not horrible.
It's very, very mediocre.
It's. I feel very meh about it.
Yeah.
Meh. Yeah, and I to that point too. I had to talk to you about. I wonder if considering what we've seen of Tim Burton over the years and the work we've seen, and usually there's even if you have a complaint, Alice in Wonderland being a good example where, oh my gosh, what the heck happened with the whole Donnie Depp dancing thing at the end? That is where you totally jumped the shark for me. But the rest of it, you still what you're getting with Tim Burton. You know kind of what to expect. I felt like any person, so if you're a Dumbo or Disney fan and you go to see this, you're going to probably be like, that was great. If you're a Tim Burton fan, you're going to go and feel very let down, in my opinion. That's
Other
how
than
I
the
felt.
visuals. It did look Tim Burton. It did look, especially with the cinematography and his shots, that felt very Burton-esque,
It
if
felt
you will.
it, but not like.
But the story
engulfed.
that he usually does is lacking. Like in Edward Scissorhands, I'm looking at our list. Big Fish especially, where you emoted with almost every character in there. Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Even Pee-wee, his first movie, you felt for Simone and you felt for
all the
tapped characters.
into all these characters. Yeah, so I did wonder. I speculated to you. I wonder if it came down to editing. Editing is crucial to how a story can be presented and how well it's pieced together. So I did wonder. I wonder if it comes down to some of that is editing, where it was not shoestring together in a very cohesive manner where I would have felt more or gotten more out of it. So I don't know. I think I would love to kind of hear more in the industry news about that to see if there's any kind of insight into that.
That's possible. I think the biggest one was they cast the wrong kids. Yeah. Their expressions were unbelievable. They didn't look like they were there. Colin Farrell looked like he was there. Danny DeVito looked like he was there. Michael Keaton. They're professionals. They've been around there.
The CG
monkey
there.
Was really good.
Yeah.
There was a few good moments.
Yes.
But like I said, that's just mediocrity. But as far as Tim Burton goes, I don't think he should have been the one to direct this one. Maybe produce it. And have his stamp of style on it, and then get some better casting people in there for the children.
I agree.
Eva Green is not bad. But kind of a waste of Eva Green.
It was.
Really.
It was a waste. That's why I say I'm like, usually on Tim Burton movies, he gives you enough of each character, each main character even, and some of the cast, supporting characters. He gives you enough to where you're like, man, this is a great story. Right. I'm feeling the humanity and the story and the depth of all this. And I did not get the depth in this movie, and I didn't care. And maybe that makes me an uncaring mom, but I just didn't care a lot about any of the stuff happening. Yeah, it was entertaining, and that was it.
Yeah. Moving on a little bit, though.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about what it made this weekend.
All right,
it's projected to make about $40 million. I don't know what the budget is on this one.
I bet it was more than $40 million.
Probably.
What's up? That's our son. That's okay.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, about the coming down and going up to
it's
kids
fine.
and cats.
We are in a world, and last
No. I just have a plan to make on it.
Yeah.
But it'll probably make its money back eventually. It'll probably be popular on the Disney Plus when you can watch the original and then watch this one. But as far as it's not going to last, next week Shazam's coming out.
Yeah,
and we recommend seeing Shazam.
You should go see Shazam. You should see Shazam. You haven't seen it, and I want him to see it because I think I want to watch him. What you do to me, where he likes to watch me watch movies and just get entertained by that viewing. I want to watch you watch Shazam.
Right.
It was really
but we're gonna get Captain Marvel going across $1 billion worldwide.
Yes.
It's gonna be a pretty momentous occasion for female superheroes. We're gonna get this month is coming in April. That's gonna be the Endgame, month, things like that.
Highly anticipated.
Hellboy's coming out. That's gonna get lost.
Yeah,
I have no desire to see that movie.
It could be a surprise. You don't know.
Other than David Harbour.
I think it could. Well, and when is Stranger Things coming out?
July 4th.
So David Harbour's got a couple projects coming up back to back, and David Harbour fans he could push that. I would not be surprised if is a
it's
surprise.
not going to be.
I think it'll be a surprise. I do. And I don't even like Hellboy, but I just have a feeling.
I don't think it'll do well. But one thing that happened overnight, had a phone update.
Oh God, yes. Let's talk about this. We do geek out at things, and tech is one of them. And we have phones. Talk to us about your phone.
Well, I have an Android. I have a Samsung phone.
Yes, S8.
S8.
Yes.
You know, it's fine. It's great. They changed it. Now it's more like a iPhone operating system. Things get changed around. Now I'll get used to it. It'll probably be fine. But why do these companies insist on just changing everything all at once? Like the icons are different. Things are in different places. You know, my last update got rid of my flashlight app for some reason. And now it's back.
That's weird. Yeah. I can relate to this a little bit. I haven't gotten the update yet, which is kind of weird. We have the exact same phone and we're on the same plan. It's weird. And the same network. Do you guys remember, for those of you who work in office environments, when Microsoft Office did the whole XP update or whatever, and the whole menu system got totally upended. Nothing was where you had it before, and you're like, how do I change a PowerPoint animate? What? So I can relate. I haven't yet gone through the update yet, but I can relate with that because suddenly things that and this is your device that you are using once an hour at least, probably more. And everything to be upended on you like that, it's got to be pretty annoying. And so, you guys, I mean, we get that. You got to think of that UX, the user experience. Come on. So I know you're having a rough time with that.
Well, I think it matches what's in the S10s that just got released.
Yeah.
You know, so
yes. We don't have.
Is this going to jack up my phone because it's not as powerful as an S10?
Maybe. Maybe it'll make it better, and just you have to get used to it.
But you have that. You get these updates, and you play video games, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go play my video game. But boom, you got to update. You're like, what? And then it's like this huge download, and you're like, can't even play. You
know what else it's like? It's like when you go to Costco and try to get the fig bars for your kids' lunches, and the branding has changed. Are these the same fig bars?
Oh my!
Are these the ones we get? Yeah, okay. And you have to go look it up, and you're like, okay, it is the same one. It's just different. Yeah, all these corporations rebranding things, and this is kind of what we're getting at here. They have to change it to make it new, but the same. It's like humans love change. It's like, oh man, I can't wait for summer to get here. Oh, I can't wait to get fall. I can't wait till winter gets here. But it's the same thing that we're changing to, not changing to something completely different. Who liked New Coke? Nobody liked New Coke. This is New Coke. If you are liking what you're hearing and want more of it, please don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes or anywhere else you get your podcasts. We're also at UnpauseIt.show. So what's our show going to be about next week? Are we going to talk about Shazam, things like that? Shazam reactions maybe next Sunday? Are you planning to see it this week? Man, I got so much going. I don't think I can see it, but I can talk about reactions on it. If I can squeeze in the time to see it, maybe. But anything else coming out this week that we should be aware of, or it might be a slow week. It is right after spring break. They're kind of in that lull between spring break and summer. So we might have to wait and see. 6 to 8 weeks left of school going on, things like that. It's going to be crazy. I don't know. But I'm getting to the point of in 2 weeks, we're going to have a broadcast from Las Vegas. Yes, we are. We're going to be kids. We'll not. Yeah, we'll be. We'll try to make that hopefully it won't be like a hotel room boring background. We like our background. It's our cave. It's our geek cave. But and sometimes the cat's back there doing things. We'll be somewhere in like Las Vegas and hopefully broadcasting with the show and giving. It'll probably be on a phone. Yeah, by the way, next to a pool with a laptop. Yes, probably a pool. Yeah, won't be near the blackjack tables or something like that. Shazam's coming out this week. Pet Sematary. Ooh. You're a Stephen King woman. I am a Stephen King fan. So Pet Sematary. Now, this is not the first Pet Sematary movie, by the way. No, but it does have... I think it's going to be better no matter what. Now, so I am a Stephen King fan. If you are into horror fiction at all, Stephen King is an icon. He is probably one of my top 3 favorite writers. I love him. I don't love all his stuff. Let's be clear. There's a couple things where I'm like... What did you do? Tommyknockers for one. The only Tommyknockers I like is The Brewery in Idaho Springs. Okay. But no, the book It, he wrote that, which of course became a movie last year, I did not see it because I have gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't need to see horror movies so much. Although you want to watch one, we should talk about that. You do want to see I haven't even seen A Quiet Place. You want to see we're busy, right? We have things to do. We don't do movies for a living, which would be nice if we did. Hint.
And we would see more movies. We'd see him in there. But we do have the ability to listen to movies down here in our cave with nice earphones on, completely like sound deadening earphones in the dark. So I'm thinking that's a good way to watch this. We're going to do that soon. And then we'll talk about our experience watching it in the dark with earphones on.
I'm sighing. Can you hear me sigh? I just mentioned not so much into the horror movies anymore. Part of that is largely due to the fact that you like to jump scare me in this house and have taught your son to do it.
Now, in my defense, all I do is stand there.
All he does.
That's all.
Where do you stand?
Anywhere, and you get jump scared.
You stand right outside doors that I open, like from the bathroom and stuff, and you're standing there with your eyes all big and weird. And yeah, it's freaky.
You like someone sneezed and you jumped the other day. You are just
so. Anyway, Stephen King. Back to Pet Sematary. That was a nice little path around the lap we did just there. But yeah, so Pet Sematary is coming out again, and that is one of his stronger fictional works. You know, it's a little bit about bringing things back from the dead, and that's probably somewhere you shouldn't go. But it largely talks about when someone feels loss and the fact that you have a void there, and some people feel very desperate. And you know, the whole question: if you could bring that person or thing back, would you? That's where the whole story comes from. So the movie is coming out. John Lithgow is in it.
Yes.
Which you see John in anything, you're like, wait a second, he's good. So I'm a little impressed that he's in that. The trailer, unfortunately, gives pretty much the whole plot away, so try not to watch it.
Well, it's also a remake of a book.
It's a remake of a book, and there was a movie done, a very subpar movie done over 2 decades ago. And
some people really like that movie. I never liked it.
It wasn't that great.
Yeah, you know, this one, the cat looks a lot scarier. But, you know, it's like one of those things coming out. It's coming out next week with Shazam. They're not going to be competing with each other, right?
Well, and so that's what's interesting too. So It came out. They did a movie about It. And again, there was another movie of It that had Tim Curry in it. Also a crappy movie. Totally awful movie. But I heard, and again, I didn't see it, that this latest movie of It was really good. Pet Sematary is coming out. They're going to redo The Stand. From what I heard.
That's going to be like on Amazon or something?
I think so. And I'm very excited now. The Stand is one of, I think, a phenomenally well done book.
It's huge. Giant book.
It's a saga. I mean, but it's really good. So I am really kind of interested in how this whole Stephen King horror thing has been rebooted. But I'm also excited about where we're going with this, because now you've got like people like Jordan Peele who are coming out with some really phenomenal looking.
And that's part of it, because we had, you know, It made a ton of money. Jordan Peele, Get Out, Us. We haven't seen Us yet either. I definitely want to see that one.
I do too. I heard it has some really kind of subversive, interesting themes in it.
Right. And he's done a great job with that stuff. And you see a lot of these other horror franchises coming through and making a decent amount of money, because horror gets made at a low budget, high reward, you know, return. If it makes $40 million, whereas on a $10 million budget, that's a good investment, right? And so this is a business. But Stephen King has that name recognition coming out, and it did kill the box office.
Killed it.
Everyone wants to see the second one. So that's where that's coming from a little bit on there.
Well, and I like, and Jordan Peele, to his credit, you know, he is bringing more actors of color onto the screen. So it's not just all these white people jump scared all the time, which that would be me. But yeah, he really is delving into more of that, making these films more catering to the audiences that are out there watching these movies.
Yeah,
so I love that too.
He got roasted this week for saying, I don't think I'll put a black man or a white man in my movies, and that movie's been done. I'm like, what he said was not even that a big a deal. It's not even a deal. But, you know, whatever.
He's a director. He can do that.
What's that going to do to us? Us was number 2 at the box office this weekend with $33 million still.
I think
it's making tons of money.
People want to be.
Is Pet Sematary going to usurp Us? Is Pet Sematary going to rival Shazam for money?
That's very different. Two very different. Because Shazam is such a family action. Off
big time.
Dumbo will drop off.
Captain Marvel is still going strong at $20 million this week. Woo! It's going to, like I said, cross that $1 billion mark. Wonder Woman. Now, let's compare those two, just since you are a woman. And you are the targeted audience for these movies, really.
I am.
You know, everybody is, but you are the one that's, you know, seeing yourself on screen, if you will.
Yes.
Which one did you like better?
Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel?
Yes. They both have flaws. Almost every movie has flaws. No movie's perfect. So we're not talking about that. But which one did you enjoy more?
I enjoyed Captain Marvel more. And I disclaimer. I'm probably always going to like Marvel more. I'm invested in those storylines
For the
more than in
movies,
DC.
Perhaps, yes.
Wonder Woman, but frankly, let's look at this too. I'm a little more familiar with the character of Wonder Woman. I watched Linda Carter as Wonder Woman back in my youth. So I'm familiar with all that. And I did like what they did with her character. And I liked the origin story of it. So I liked it, but I liked Captain Marvel more. I felt like it had more depth to it. I think what I liked about Captain Marvel was it wasn't, let me beat you over the head with the fact that this is a woman. She was very just like, whatever, I'm getting stuff done. Yeah, I'm a woman. I'm getting stuff done. Yeah. Whatever. And so I liked that part of it, I think. So.
Yeah, they did beat you over the head with it's 1995.
Yes.
They did that.
So we were at Dumbo and we did see someone there wearing like a shirt and jeans and then a flannel tied around the waist.
It was totally Captain Marvel. It was totally Brie Larson, how she was looking in Captain Marvel.
What movie do you think you're coming to see?
I was like,
it was funny.
Brought back the grunge look, I think,
totally,
a little bit.
Like, here we are now, entertain us right now.
It was a bit like that.
A little bit.
I would agree with you. I have no desire to see Wonder Woman ever again. We bought it to support, women filmmakers.
Yeah, and I'll watch it once in a while.
But it's not. It's not as good as Man of Steel. But it's better than Batman vs. Superman.
Plus, it's got Robin Wright in it, and Robin Wright kicks some.
She was good.
I would like to see a movie about her. Actually, frankly, be like, let's go back and just dial that back.
You're probably not the only one on that one.
Yeah.
But as we get going on this one, next week we'll talk a little Shazam. We'll talk a little bit of how I have gotten into this operating system for my phone.
And we have one more thing we wanted to touch on.
Oh, Willis. Bless his heart.
Oh, bless his brain. This kid came out with this. So we're sitting there getting ready to watch Dumbo. You said you'd heard this from him before, but this is the first time I'd heard it.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if this is his original idea or not. I don't know.
He does watch a lot of YouTube and likes to kind of, process stuff and then come up with his own. But he came up with some great jokes of his own yesterday. But he did have a theory. So we were talking Avengers, Infinity War, and then how that's going to translate to Endgame. He had a theory. What was his theory? His
theory was that Hulk was dusted, but Banner was not. That in this movie, instead of having a conflict, Hulk is just gone. And then I've said this in the past. I've said this to you. I don't know if I said it on film or camera or internet, so whatever we call this, on the World Wide Web. I think that the undusting happens early on in the movie.
Okay.
And it's just my.
So you think an undusting is happening?
I do think an undusting is happening.
Okay.
Somehow, and it's not going to be complete. And then they battle Thanos, but more, together again.
Yes.
I do think that's going to happen. I don't know how. I don't know why. And maybe it's at the end. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I do not have any solid footing for any of my theories whatsoever. I'm not confident.
Sheer gut instinct, y'all.
But that means that, Banner can't be Hulk. So he's like, oh, okay. He can just focus on being Banner. And maybe there's a little Banner, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow romance rekindling because he can actually now not Hulk out and kill people. So I think that's going to I think if that's the case, he gets undusted, goes back into Banner, but then that's how he becomes Professor Hulk, is like they merge together somehow.
See, his theory definitely was kind of like, okay, wait, let me think through this stuff.
If that's true, it's a rippling effect throughout the whole thing.
It would. Right? But I think it's heavily dependent on the other guy taking the other guy thing literally. Like, this is literally two different people in one body, where I think that kind of for me, it got debunked at the end of the first Avengers movie when he said, I'm always angry. And he turns into the Hulk. He is the Hulk. He's the Hulk. He's just not always, he's always angry, but he controls it.
The Russos took over Joss Whedon, and then they did pull in these are two different characters in there, and the Russos did a much better job with the Avengers than Whedon did, by far. Not even close, because Civil War is better than Age of Ultron. Civil War is the Avengers movie we should have.
I think that Joss Whedon, that I'm a Whedon fan, but he did what he does best. He brought together an ensemble.
Unnecessarily killed the character.
He does that too. Yes, he does. He also gives a lot of empowerment to women characters and why they're awesome. So, anyway.
And then does things.
And then because he's a human guy, and that happens, which we didn't even talk about James Gunn yet. being back on Guardians, but he is back on Guardians.
I know, and he's still doing Suicide Squad.
Mhm.
First, the James Gunn thing, I was completely nonplussed about it. I'm like, meh. Because they kept on saying,
I was a little
we're going to keep reusing this thing.
Yeah.
It's his story. It's still going to happen, but we're just putting it back. Did they put it back because of this James Gunn thing? Or does this kind of coincide with they're going to put it back anyway because Disney bought everybody else?
Yeah.
And now they have this huge other sandbox to do with X-Men and all these other things that they have. Fantastic Four. Now, I think they could bring Fantastic Four into the MCU, but I really do not want the X-Men in any form, any fashion to be in the MCU whatsoever. I would love to see the X-Men on the Disney Plus in like their Star Wars hour-long Game of Thrones style 10-episode series like Netflix did. We just watched Daredevil season 2 again. We
watched it, yep.
Really, really good. The Punisher is really, really good.
Yeah.
Even the Iron Fist, which was okay. The thing that was not good on that one is if it was just better fight choreography.
Yeah, they need a better fight.
You could have gotten over some of the other flaws.
Right, considering what the whole genre of it was. Like, I was in Kunlun and I learned, I'm like, great, where is that?
Yeah, there was like one or two good fight scenes in that whole series.
Got a golden fist. That's cool.
That was it. If they could do something like that with the X-Men and explore those characters better, I think that would be more advantageous to that whole gamut of characters. And then they have announced the What If. And we were talking about this last week too, off camera. The What If is being done, and that is a real comic series that Marvel has done. What if this happened? What if that happened? And so we were talking about some of our favorite what ifs. What if Deadpool and Logan just go on a road trip? Yes. Something like that. Do you remember what yours was? I can't remember.
No, I didn't give a lot of, like I said, it was a busy week. I remember, because the what ifs are fine. It reminds me of the whole how it should have ended stuff on YouTube. Like, oh yeah, it could have done parallel universe kind of thing like that. Frankly, I haven't tapped into the creative part of my brain to think through any of that stuff. So if you guys have something that you can think of, like, what if this would happen, put it in the comments below.
I like to see some of these and it be as crazy as possible. What if Bruce Banner was experimenting and the mutants were around? So this is the MCU, whatever. And he's like, I think we can help you, Wade Wilson. But he turns Wade Wilson into Deadpool Hulk. So then he gets like the whole Deadpool thing, but he's Hulk. What would that look like?
What if Dumbo got exposed to gamma radiation and turned into Hulkbo? Hey, I can go. You said it could be crazy. That's a crazy theory right there.
It's a little too crazy.
Try.
Well, the crazier the better.
All right. Well, that's really all we have for this week's broadcast. Again, if you have, we were just talking about, might be a little bit of a slow week. Something's always going to happen. So we'll wait and see what happens. But if you have any ideas, suggestions you'd like us to cover in the next broadcast on next Sunday from Vegas, let us know in the comments, and we'd love to cover those for you.
And look for, hopefully we get a contest for Aladdin.
Yes.
And for Detective Pikachu.
Yes, so we'll have those coming out soon. So we should have some giveaways for anyone who lives in Denver to maybe go see that for free.
Right. And I do think that Detective Pikachu has a chance of being actually a good movie, and then then that would make it the best video game movie ever.
Did you want to tell them what costume you're looking to?
I would love to get a Deadpool Pikachu cosplay outfit. They're like $400.
Hey, if anyone needs to market those, he's got a willing top subject right here. All right. Well, thank you, Dead Abides.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be back next week from Vegas, from our on location.
No, 2 weeks from Vegas. Next week is going to be Shazam.
Oh, that's right. Next week is Shazam, and 2 weeks is Vegas. So thanks. Subscribe to us, share us with us, geek out with us, comment with us, and we'll enjoy all this with you next time. Bye.